What is the birth history of the KALAH method? Idan Abolnik, the founder of the Israeli Combat System KALAH, began his career as a fighter in the Israeli army, in the Golani unit. He took part in high-risk operations in southern Lebanon and the West Bank. Starting in 2003, he trained the security forces of the police, law enforcement units, and the farm community in South Africa, where he engaged in many security projects. In 2003, he founded the KALAH method, when the philosophy of the method holds we are not masters but the survivors. According to the philosophy of the method, no attacker will come to you and say I'm going to attack you with a knife, a gun, or with fists. We will always be surprised by the attacker. As a result, we have to fight from the starting point. This means that the attacker is always much more prepared. The purpose of the KALAH is not to compete with other methods, but to try to compete with the reality of our lives. According to Idan, reality is always 10 steps ahead of us, and adds that it is the one that dictates coping rules in extreme situations in our lives. That is, it is the one who makes self-defense so difficult. These words have a tremendous meaning, which distinguishes between life and death, that is, in violent and realistic scenarios that have occurred in South Africa and around the world, on which the method is based. In 2005, the KALAH method became international, when Idan introduced it to law enforcement organizations and an army in Italy, Verona. Later, for its distribution, Idan traveled around the world and demonstrated its benefits to citizens and security forces. To date, more than 30 countries have invited Idan to them to teach the KALAH method. The method is currently applied in law enforcement agencies in Brazil, Spain, France, Greece, South Africa, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom. Special forces are using the method in Italy, the Netherlands, and even in Israel. What caused Idan Abolnik to create a new method of warfare? Idan is a person who believes in God. According to his philosophy of life, the method is a gift from heaven. That is a way that is supposed to help a person in the distress of life survive and become stronger. So what caused Idan in South Africa to create a new Israeli combat system, which is undoubtedly based on his history of life? That is an Israeli army, in which he grew up as a true Israeli fighter, Golani unit, in which he learned the basics of Krav-Maga and self-defense among the best of the best. So what, after all, caused such a person to go through an evolutionary process and decide to change an existing way of fighting? Pay attention to the demonstrations of Idan on the subject of self-defense. He first of all perfectly presents the existing technique and tries to explain its strengths and weaknesses. In fact, he performs in-depth analysis and critique of the various techniques in the fields of Krav-Maga and self-defense. Strives to explain based on his rich experience in the subject, where and when the exercise failed and poses a danger to the person performing it. Only then does he propose an alternative technique, which he criticizes even more severely to prove its effectiveness in real-life situations of the struggle for life. Dear friends, thank you for listening. If you liked our video, please subscribe to our channel and ring the bell below to get an update on our new posts.